So here I am in the middle of the desert. Seriously, like really high winds, as in dust, seriously blowing dust devils everywhere. Wind blowing. My car is literally shaking back and forth. Of course, the road, the way there isn't paved. It's not. So I was going off roading as well. But here I am, and my client he comes by, and he says, "Yep, I like it."
And
That's
that
it,
was it.
and that was it.
Wow.
And again, first land deal, first home deal, doesn't matter. You need help.
Yes.
And that's what's great about the Venturis. I have that confidence that I have the backing that, hey, I can do anything.
Live love, New Mexico, where dreams take flight. In this land of sunshine, our hearts ignite.
Hey now, welcome back everyone to another episode of Live Love New Mexico. I'm your host Samuel Anderson, Marketing Director here at the Venturi Realty Group. And today we're talking about what it really takes to get started in real estate. We know that there's a lot of regular home buyers and sellers out there, but there's a lot of agents that watch our show as well. So this one's for you. I'm joined today by three amazing real estate professionals, each at a different stage of the journey. Kori Bristow, seasoned pro and mentor. Go ahead and say hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Sonia Kalvert, who's quickly rising and recently celebrated almost her first year with the team.
That's right. I can't believe it's been a year. Crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. It's going fast. And she would be one of our newest members, if not for our first time guest host, Joaquin Alan Dogan.
Hey, guys.
He's one of the newest faces on the Venturi team, and he's here to help to share some insights as to what you need to know becoming a real estate agent going forward in your career. So let's jump right into it. I want to know why you guys got into real estate, because as an outsider looking in, I go, wow, that's a crazy business. So Kori, let's start with you. What brought you into real estate in the first place?
So I was doing a ton of tours on the lending side, and I kept watching these women and men show these incredible houses. And I thought, oh, I want to do that. And so my friend Bill said, you need to go to the number one team, and sent me here. And I was lucky enough that Tracy said she would hire me. And then I went to school. Yeah, that's how that happened.
And just to clarify, that's Bill Johnson from Old Republic.
Old Republic title.
Old Republic, man, a great friend of the Venturis, and we're
I
so
love
happy
Bill.
that he brought Kori to our team. Okay, so next, because we're going to kind of go in a three bears situation. So Sonia, you're
Yes.
you're up next. You're right in the middle. I know Kori had something to do with your journey. What made you say, I'm doing this?
When I'm doing this, you mean here in Albuquerque or just in general, real estate in general?
Well, kind of both. I want to
Okay.
know what brought you to real estate and what made you say New Mexico real estate is going to work, because I know it's completely different from everywhere else you've been in the country.
Yeah. Well, I actually got my real estate license in LA when I was living in LA, but it was during COVID. So it was towards the end of, or only a few months in. And by the time I got my real estate license, I was already moving to Bellingham, Washington. So I moved to Bellingham, Washington and joined a team there. And I just always loved real estate. My husband and I would always go to open houses on Sundays, and it was kind of our favorite pastime. So I thought, hey, I think I could do this. Anyway, 3 years later, I moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Again, looked it up online. Hey, number one realty, team in Albuquerque, and Venturi came up, and I saw Kori's cute face and all her great reviews. And I called her up, and the first thing she said is, so what brings you to the 505? And we just hit it off, and she sold me my house here in Albuquerque and then said, hey, you should join our team. It was a no-brainer. And I joined and met with Tracy, and she hired me on the spot. So, yeah, super grateful. Yeah.
What a great story. And Joaquin, you're the newest, literally, not just to the team, but to the real estate game in general. So what made real estate the right move for you?
Well, it's two main things. I'd say it being service-based and the fact that I just really love houses. Ever since I was younger, I've always been a service-based person. And I knew it from the start that that's something I wanted to make a main point in the work. And in regards to the real estate part, I remember ever since I was a kid again, I used to always just sit down and watch HGTV, and I loved houses. I really, really, really love houses. All the little details. So, real estate actually wasn't my original plan. I was in college going for medicine, but I got some advice from a friend, and this is gonna blow your mind. He told me, if you're so interested in real estate and you want it to be your end goal, why don't you just get into real estate? And then I was like,
Mind blown.
so then I went on Google, searched up real estate brokerages in New Mexico, and I called all of them, interviewed at all of them, and the Venturi team really stuck out to me. So here
Mm,
I am with these wonderful.
Wow.
that's
That's
like
awesome.
home, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I know I'm not the only one that gets a little chuckle when he says, as a kid, that he used to like these things because he's maybe 3 days out of being a kid. I'm just kidding. I'm just putting you on the spot. Okay, so let's move on to our next little part.
He
Let's
can't
move
even
on.
legally drink yet.
Hey,
Close.
that's the power of good real estate. Though,
That's
of
right.
Good real estate agent. He knows what he's doing. Okay, so just to kind of piggyback off that, I kind of want to set up what everybody, when you get into a job and you have some preconceived notions, there's always a moment where you go, oh, this is what I signed up for. And I want to know that moment from you. I want to get a taste of the real estate world. So, Kori, why don't we start with you?
Okay, so I had one example, but I have another one. So I'm going to say both of them really quick, if you don't mind. Is that all right, Sam? Okay. So I didn't realize that every time I hear the beep, 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 that would be my favorite noise because then the key got to come out and then it's someone else's next adventure or next possibility or next movement. And you never know if that's like the house for them. So I love the beep, beep, beep.
Yep.
And then I guess the other kind of crazy curveball story was I was showing some people out of state and we were in the mountains and going from, house to house, 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 house. And this one house had a car in the front and the door was open. I said, let me go check first. Let me just go see if everything's okay. And I went up there and there was like a trail of clothes all the way to a couch. And I didn't want the dog to bark, so I slowly and I got in my car and the listing broker was mad. I mean, mad
Well,
that I didn't show it.
what did you see?
Well, I just saw Heine,
Oh, okay.
a man's Heine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You skipped that part.
Wow, it was a bum.
Wow.
I know. And then I'm turning red. So now I know whenever I show anywhere, I'm really loud. I knock because I don't want to surprise anybody.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend you introduce y'all's. So,
hmm That's one of the first things
Realtor.
I learned too.
Boom.
Is
Wow.
even if you're going into the house, you still should knock because you don't know if anyone is
You
in there.
never,
You never know.
know.
Obviously.
Bum.
Wow. Okay. Well, I didn't expect that story, and I'm not sure either of you are going to quite top that. But Sonia, why don't you go ahead and give us your realization?
So when I was on a team in Bellingham, Washington, I wasn't getting like leads, and I was new to town, and that sort of was just I'm kind of the same situation I'm in here, new to town.
Right.
However, I knew that I had to make phone calls, so I was calling, expireds and FSBOs, which is a for sale by owner, and I actually could not believe someone a FSBO said, "Yeah, come on over, come see our house," and I thought, oh my gosh, they're actually going to let me come and see their house. So I did. It was this really lovely young couple. They lived like on a farm on like 5 acres. And they had interviewed a bunch of realtors. And, I was like the fifth one. And we just hit it off. And they called me that afternoon. They were like, "We want to hire you as our realtor." And I was just like blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, it was like 3 months of phone calls, and work. And I finally got my first listing. And I was just so, so thankful. And it was just a great experience, great transaction. And it worked out really well. So I knew, from that day forward, I was like, okay, I can do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's how it felt.
That's an amazing story. And Joaquin, why don't you wrap it up for us?
Well, mine's not as funny as Corey's. As grandiose as Sonia is, it's pretty basic. It's simple, but it was the first ever open house with Kori, and I had that first time anxiety. Like I didn't know what I didn't know what to say, and if I'm being honest, I was just quiet the
Mm-hmm.
entire time. I was just sitting there observing, but throughout the entire time, I was just thinking to myself, this this is real estate, socialization and talking with people, getting to know people, working with me is the job. That is a big part of the job. And I told myself, okay, first time, really nervous, didn't say anything. I know that second open house, I'm gonna crush it. And the second open house I did with Kori,
Mm-hmm.
sold the house.
Yes, you did.
You did. Yeah. And Kori's a great mentor, if I could just say that.
Mhm.
Thank
She
you.
really is. Yeah.
Yeah, we should actually mention that Kori is joined by the two guests today because she's the one who helped them bring them both to the team. She doesn't like to be put on the spot, but we do want to give her some credit for that.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Okay, so we've kind of heard a little bit about everyone's first deal, but I want to dive into it a little bit more because, as Kori pointed out, if you don't remember your first deal, you're probably not in the right business because how could you not remember the first one? So, Kori, why don't you tell us about the chaos, the excitement, whatever stood out about your first real transaction?
So I was so excited because I'd been sitting in the office listening to how everybody talks for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And I just wanted, the opportunity. So they finally said, Kori, you know what? You can go show this house. And I couldn't wait. Well, what they also told me was it's already pending. So you can't really sell this house, but you can get in front of a client and let's see what you can do. And I'm like, okay. So I met Monique and I had 3 other houses to show her. And I had my little folder and I showed her this already sold house. I said, Monique, I'm so sorry. This is already sold. But I have 3 other ones for us to go look at. And
Mhm.
she said, really? And I said, yeah. And she said, none of my other realtors have ever done that. I will work with you. And I was like, "Whoa."
Wow.
And so then we found this house and it was great because it was that whole ning, 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 and then open the door. And then I sat there for inspections and I was just so proud.
That's awesome.
She was young and she bought her first house and now it's a rental and she's bought another house in Cuba.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
I
So
love first time home
I
buyers too.
know.
I
So
love working
Monique,
with
if you're
them.
out there,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that is an amazing story, and it's so cool to hear so many agents have their first time story also result in somebody who they still work with to this day, and so it's awesome that you still are working with your very first client, Kori.
Absolutely.
Sonia,
Yep.
you actually have a couple of different perspectives on this because I'd like to hear your first ever real transaction in real estate in general, which we've already heard a little bit about,
Mhm.
but I'd also like to hear about your first deal with the team.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about that. So yeah, I joined the team, and I think it was a couple of months of doing open houses, and I got a Zillow call, and this young couple who happened to be from LA, so we kind of hit it off right away. We got
So
the LA
cool.
connection, first time home buyers, and they wanted to see Kori's listing. Just happened to be, and I have to say, in terms of what you were talking about, like showing that home that was pending, but then having other homes to show,
Right.
I did the same thing because that's what we learn on the Venturi team.
That's
If
right.
you're going to go show one house,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you're showing 2 or 3 others, especially if they're in the
Right.
neighborhood. Set up the appointments, and if your clients don't want to see them, that's fine. But at least you have them.
Absolutely.
So I went to show them another house, which was literally down the street. I think it was like the same price point, but it was not in as good condition as yours was.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we wrote an offer, and I think there were 4 offers on that house.
Many.
And with the guidance of Tracy as well, she told me how to write up that offer, and we won. And so my first transaction was with Kori. Just like serendipity is how I kind of look at it. So yeah, so that was great. And yeah, they moved in, I think, in December, and we've been in touch, and it's been great. And that's the other thing, I really like staying in touch with all people that I've worked
Right.
with, and it's all about relationships.
Well, at first they're clients and then they become friends.
They become
And
friends.
you want to know about their kids and their
Yes.
dogs and their pets and what they're doing and housework. And
Exactly. So I feel like that's really, I think, really, it's a very relationship based
absolutely.
business. Yeah. And so, yeah, so it was great first experience here in the ABQ, the 505, the 505.
That's great. And so, Joaquin, just to kind of finish it off, I know you had already kind of talked to us about your experience with getting your first sale from an open house, but I know you wanted to talk a little bit about your first land deal.
Yeah, so that open house wasn't my first deal, it was actually a land deal. And, when you go into the real estate industry, when you become an agent, the first thought of, oh, my first closing, my first transaction, it's going to be a house, beautiful home. And, it's going to be a happy couple and, we're going to get them right. So here I am in the middle of the desert, seriously, like really high winds, as in dust, seriously blowing, little, I guess. What do you call them? Sand.
Sandstorm
I
or
wouldn't say sand.
They kind of look like a tornado, like
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
dust
dust
devils.
devils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, dust devils everywhere, wind blowing. My car is literally shaking back and forth. Yeah.
so this is
And
you went out to show them a piece of land.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then, of course the road, the way there isn't paved. It's not, so I was going off-roading as well.
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
But here I am, and my client, he comes by and he says, "Yep, I like it."
And
That's
that was
it.
it.
And that was it.
Wow.
And again, first land deal, first, home deal, doesn't matter, you need help.
Yes.
And that's what's great about the Venturis, I have that confidence that I have the backing that, hey, I can do anything, if I
Right.
put my mind to it, I can do anything. Know what to do? Guess what, guys?
Yeah,
So-
I
Yeah.
feel the same way. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know everything, but I can ask
Mhm.
anybody on the team and get some different ideas or thoughts or
Yeah.
And it's
Love that.
nice. And it's nice.
Yes.
Another thing is different opinions as well.
Yes.
Right.
Because you can't be stuck in an echo chamber because that's not how you grow. You need different opinions and so you can go on a different path.
Absolutely.
But with that land deal, I got help from Tracy because she's the land expert.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Then he closed it.
Yeah.
That was
That's
my first
awesome.
transaction.
I love that.
Yeah, I've never had a land deal yet. So you'll have to teach me.
I tried to do the land deal once, but it didn't.
Yeah, not yet. I have
Yeah.
people looking, but not yet. I'll get them though.
Oh,
Yeah, Tracy will tell you definitely have to have a special love for focusing on land. So it's funny that you guys were kind of just talking about the benefits of the team because that leads us right into our next segment, which is let's talk about starting off right. Kori, what's something that you wish that every new agent would hear from day one? Now, because you've been mentoring our two guest hosts, I'm sure that these two guest hosts have already heard this stuff. But go ahead and give some advice to anybody who's sitting around thinking, wow, I want to become a real estate agent.
well, there's many things, honest integrity and your word is huge
Mm-hmm.
because it's a relationship business. And once the client's gone, those realtors are the ones that you're still working with, year after year after year. And so I find it very important to keep a really good relationship with other realtors.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the things that you learn in school, it's a great base, but there's so much more. And being on a team, you get so much more from the training. And when you're on your own, there's so much to learn. And it's almost like, oh my goodness, what did I just step into?
Drinking from a fire hose.
Right.
Exactly. That's what they say.
Yeah. And you're trying to figure it out and you don't know who to ask. And it's like, oh, and all of a sudden, and so eat bologna sandwiches the first year. But after, you're okay.
What do you eat after the bologna sandwiches the first year? Whatever you want.
Exactly. Well, matters how much time you put in.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And kind of on that note, Sonia,
Yeah.
why don't you tell us what advice helped you the most and that you wish you had known a little bit sooner when you started in the game?
I feel like a lot of people think, and myself included, that, oh, I'll be a real estate broker and I can make my own schedule. And I only have to work, a couple hours a day or maybe do an open house here and there. And I feel like for me anyway, it's really important for me to have a schedule. I know that I will make an hour of phone calls every day, 5,
Yep.
6 days a week. And so that's because I know now that phone calls you make or the work that you put in will come to fruition in 60 to 90 days. So that's one thing I wish I kind of knew sooner is like, yeah, I'm not going to work a couple hours a day. No, you're going to work like a regular job
Mm-hmm.
because what you put into it, like you said, is what you
Right.
get out of it.
That's right.
The other thing I did want to mention, because we've been talking about open houses a lot, is I love open houses. I love doing open houses. I do them every weekend if I can. The great thing about being on a team is because so many people on a team with so many listings, there's always an open house to do,
Right.
which is great. Because I just love meeting and talking to people. And again, going back to it being a relationship-based business, it's all about relationships. So I just kind of wanted to put it out there that I love
You're
doing open
really
houses.
good at it.
Thank you.
Really
Yeah.
good.
And I have my last 3 clients have actually been from meeting them at open houses.
See,
Yeah. So I feel like that's kind of my strength. And I also feel like you should lean into your strength. Once you find it,
absolutely.
lean into it. Yeah. That's my advice.
Everybody needs to do one open house with you just so they can watch you work.
Oh my God. Thank you. That means so much being like new on the team. Thank you. Very flattering.
And that's great. That's what you get here at the Venturi Realty Group. It's hugs all around all the time. So let's just kind of again wrap this up with the perspective from our newest of news. Joaquin, what's something unexpected that's helped you, and what's it been like being part of the Venturi team right from the start?
Well, it's going to be back to my last point, the support,
Mm.
teamwork. You can be a solo agent, you can make amazing progress. But if you have a team behind you, if you have people to your side, supporting you at every step of the way, you'll get a lot further. And, you know, and that's amazing. That's an amazing feeling knowing that someone's always there for you.
Oh,
And you're learning correctly.
Mhm.
And
right.
that's a huge thing because our leaders are very well known in the industry. And so when they're talking to us, it's right.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And they've been
Yeah.
doing it for 20 plus years.
Yes.
So just to get that experience from people that have been doing it for that long,
Mhm.
like you said, you're really learning right.
Absolutely.
And they're always available to go and ask
Mhm.
questions too. And even if they're not, there's always somebody else on the team. And
right.
that's just the benefit of being on a team.
And the Venturis, they feel like family. I mean, we go through we go together to multiple events, a lot of meetings and here and there, and you really
Yeah.
just feel that support.
And we also have fun. We have team building activities,
Mhm.
just went bowling,
Yeah, we did.
made enchiladas, which I did for the first time at the Venturi home. You missed that one, but you'll be there for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like family. And just like you said, the support is fantastic.
Great. And just to kind of give a little bit of what they call social proof about this, Kori, why don't you tell us about just exactly what your 2 little mentees have done since you had them join the team? You don't have to give specifics, but just kind of give us a perspective of how rare it is to have this kind of success, especially if they were on their own.
Well, I look at you both and I feel so blessed that, that I've gotten to help you through your journey. And it's amazing to see how many people that you have helped through just, open houses and watching your dedication. And Joaquin, you have not stopped at all. Not one time. You just go, you're focused, and you realize that it is relationship based. And it's a big deal. It's not like, oh, let's go sell a house today. No, it's a really big deal. And so you take it very seriously. And I love it.
Thanks,
That's-
Kori.
That's very cool. And it's really the key we want you all to take away from here, which is from mentorship to training. It's about not feeling like you're on your own. The right team can absolutely change everything. And I think we have pretty much 3 examples of that right here in our 3 Bears situation. Okay, so let's wrap it
3
up
bears.
with our final little segment, which is what I thought versus reality. So let's lighten it up and give me one thing that you thought real estate would be like before you started and what the reality turned out to be. Kori, go ahead and lead it off.
reality is it's not just I'm gonna go and put the little sign in the front and wear little heels. And the reality is sometimes there's mice and in that other house, and we have to go back to it. Or sometimes that house kind of smells funny, and we
Oh boy.
clean a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, boxes, and I carry a hammer in my back of my car
Wow.
because you never hammer, screwdriver, and a measuring tape.
Mhm.
Yes.
Do you guys have
tape.
measuring tape
I
as
do.
well?
Yep.
I do.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
first started, I even had toilet paper. I was really cool, but I don't have toilet paper anymore.
I still have that in
You
my
do?
car. I do.
I need to add it.
Yeah.
Okay. There's my reality.
Hmm.
And Sonia, you kind of mentioned one of your expectations versus reality moments with the needing to have a schedule thing, but why don't you kind of expand on some other things that you kind of had an idea of what real estate might be like? Again, you talked about how you used to go to open houses and it looked so lovely. So why don't you take it from that perspective? What was the difference between going to an open house and running your first open house?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I remember going to open houses and mostly in LA, I guess, because I lived there for like 30 plus years. We go to a lot of open houses and it's very like kind of shishi. I think in LA there's like sushi and it's like a whole big thing and it's just like all more about, how do I say,
Red carpet.
red carpet. And I feel like here it's a little bit more down to earth. People are not like saying anything bad about LA. I love LA. I lived there forever. But, people here are just a little bit more down to earth, real conversations. So I feel like it's a little bit different, and I feel like people really care here. People are really friendly. I feel like I have an easier time talking to clients. They're a little bit more open and kind of like, how we're talking about, we don't just sell houses. Like, it's like, I mean, I don't want to be like so grandiose, but like we make dreams come true. Honestly,
Absolutely.
we really do. Like, especially like first time home buyers, like we're walking them through everything it takes to buy their first home. And like you said, your first client, now she's renting at her house and
Oh yeah.
she has another one. And like you're building generational wealth, which is just really important, So I feel like what we do is just really important. And sometimes I feel like real estate agents get a bad rap. So
No, that's a really great point that needs to be kind of really hammered home more than it does, because 70 years ago, 60 years ago, 50, 40, 30 years ago, people buying a home was the norm. You're absolutely right that in this day and age, when the ability to buy a house, the inventory to buy a house, all of the factors that make it so difficult to buy a house, you really are doing way more to help people achieve their dreams than maybe in the past when it cost, $10,000 and $5 a month to
Oh my
buy your
gosh.
house.
Wow.
So that was a great point to make, because it really is true in this day and age. The job of a real estate agent and a real estate professional is truly more meaningful than maybe it might have been in the past. Joaquin, why don't you go ahead and bring us your rookie take about this?
So, I went into the industry, into this line of work, thinking like, yeah, you need hard skills, you need to be good at what you do. But, going through it, I'm in my 4th month of doing this, and I realized you need a lot of finesse.
That's
you know?
it?
My 4 month.
Darn.
You need.
Killing it.
How many
So-
deals have you done?
I've closed 3 transactions, and I have 2 pending right now that close this month.
Wow.
Hello.
Guys. But especially in talking to people, and which is funny, I say talking to people because for the most part, you should stay quiet and listen and acknowledge, what they say, and learning how to really talk to people to get to know them. I always thought I was a social person, but it's a different skill, it's a different facet. And that's something that I've actually grown a lot, and I've seen in myself that I've gotten better in, and that makes me proud.
Yeah.
Good.
And I just want to that point, yes, 3 transactions, right? 2 pending. But Joaquin has put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just want to
That's right.
really give you your props. Like
That's right.
he's at the meetings, he's
Absolutely.
at everything, he's doing the work. And with having a team behind you, I feel like it pushes you a little bit more because you really want to prove yourself. You know what I mean?
We're
And
competitive.
we're competitive
I mean,
too.
every one of us, and we love it.
Yeah.
That's,
We're we're competitive and supportive.
Yes.
You know, we want to see each other do well. So he's really put in the work, and I don't know. I feel like, I'm really proud of you. Feel like a mama.
Yep.
Well, that sounds like the perfect place to wrap this up with our little Three Bears scenario. And even though we have agents from various different experiences, I can vouch for all of them and say that all of them are just right. So let's move on to our final segment before we wrap it up. And it's, of course, our favorite segment, Around the 505, because I need to know where I'm going to get some coffee today. So, Kori, best local coffee spot to work remotely or just to go get a nice cup of Joe? And please don't say Starbucks.
I'm not. There's this great place on Manal, and it's called Napoli.
Holy.
And I go in there by myself with my computer, and there's several other people with computers.
Right.
And I can totally focus, eat. They have little
Mhm.
pastries. And if you want to go shopping, they have little, things that are artists from local.
Oh, I like
and
that.
You need to go in there. It's
Okay,
so great.
I will.
And then,
Nice.
drink and eat.
Yeah.
And are we talking like the same kind of specialty coffees that you would get at your other places, or what are we talking about there?
Everything, hot, cold, tea, you get it all.
Yeah.
You probably don't get Dr. Pepper, but
Oh, I know. You like Dr.
I
Pepper.
know. But everything else, as far as
yeah.
Awesome. Sonia, go ahead and give us your spot.
I really like Satellite Coffee, which is right across the street over here in Alameda. They're Flying Star, right? It's the same. I think the
Yeah.
coffee, yeah, right? Anyway, they have great coffee, but I like going there because I can bring Chandler, my puppy, my little cutie pie, and get my laptop and do some work. And he literally would sit on the couch with me, and they're cool with it. So yeah, I get some work done there, and they have great latte, a vanilla latte, amazing.
I love that about Albuquerque.
Yeah,
Like,
and they have
Douglas
food
is so-
too.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, and I love that about Albuquerque too. Very dog friendly.
Yes.
Yes.
Great. And Joaquin, what about you?
Well, my favorite place is Little Bear Coffee. Whenever I'm in the area.
Did you say a little bit?
Yep, Little Bear.
Wow, look at that. The bears. Look how he did that.
Oh, that's funny.
Whenever I'm in the area and I need to get work done, instead of doing it in my car, usually I go to Little Bear because I really like the environment. It's a very, studious environment,
Mhm.
and the drinks are really good. I like
Yeah.
the matcha.
Where is it?
There's one on Central.
It's not on Central. I think it's in Manal as well.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
because I know there's a Little Bear on Central by my hair place.
Oh,
Anyway.
okay.
Little Bear. Bears.
Bears. The bears.
Well, that sounds
Do you even get that?
Oh, yeah.
He's so young.
wow. Yeah.
Thanks, Joaquin.
Yeah, you may just made every single person in this room feel old. Well, that was great. It's great to know that there's a lot of great places to get a good cup of coffee around there. I don't have actually many local spots because my favorite cup of coffee happens right here at the Venturi office. And so if you ever see how I did that, if you ever want to
right.
come in and have a conversation with any of our agents, we can make a really great cup of Joe. So until next time, I'm going to give everyone a chance to give their contact information. So Kori, go ahead and talk right into the camera right in front of you and tell us how everybody can get a hold of you.
Hi, my name is Kori Bristow. I work for the Venturi Realty Group, and my phone number is 505-350-3148.
Great. And now I've got Sonia and Joaquin. Sonia, go ahead and speak to this camera right up here.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay, Sonia Kalvert. That's Kalvert with a K. Venturi Realty Group, and my number is 505-207-0082. Call me.
All right, Joaquin, you got to live up to that. Go ahead and give yours.
My name is Joaquin Alan Dogan, Venturi Realty Group, 505-588-4307. Give your
You got them all to do it. That's great. Awesome. So thank you, everyone, for spending your time with us on this episode of Live, Love, New Mexico. Huge thanks to Kori, Sonia, and Joaquin for pulling back the curtain on what it's really like to start in the real estate industry and why it's absolutely worth the climb if you're willing to put in the work. I gave you the opening, so
Had to do it.
Had to.
for more tips, stories, and behind-the-scenes insights, you can always head to welcomehomeabq.com. And don't forget to check out our flagship podcast, which is Albuquerque Real Estate Talk with Tracy and Tigo. That's going to be coming to you every Thursday at a new time. So look for that. And so until next time,
Thursday.
yep, Thursdays at
Nice.
6 a.m.
Nice.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
early.
Lots of local stuff. Lots of local stuff in that. So until next time, live well, love where you live, and we'll see you around New Mexico.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. We appreciate you. And please click subscribe. We'll keep you updated on what's going on with real estate in the Albuquerque area and New Mexico, and of course, across the entire country. Have a great one.